Well, it's Saturday, and you're going to be watching this video and thinking that it's earlier in the week, or maybe you won't, I really don't know, but just like I told you guys last week, I forgot to get a lot of footage. I just kind of got a little bit lazy. So I'm here on Saturday recording some of the ones I missed. Now, the first day of the challenge for this week was on a walk. So it's only fitting that I'm taking a walk right now to kind of show you what I got a picture of. So I'm literally just walking my family's property, and it's pretty big and expansive. So you can take a pretty long walk over here, and there's also a nice little street that you can go down. But on this property, there's a shed we've just never taken down. And that's the interesting thing that I saw on the walk. It's kind of overgrown, and that's what you'll see here. And there we are. A lot of nice rust on patina. Hello, bird. Yeah, a lot of nice rust. And I just kind of got an image of this because it's very interesting, tells a lot of stories. You know, there's a cat that we have that likes to go in there a lot. I'm sure that there are plenty of other critters in there. I'm not going to go in there. For that reason, but you can kind of see this is what I saw on a walk. Elements Earth. So we have gardens all around here, and I'm sure you've seen that in some of the videos on the property, but the one that I focused on was actually just right outside the front door, because there was some interestingly tilled soil. I took my phone and I flipped it upside down and got it very close to the soil that you're going to see here. Now, there were a couple of different shots that I got from here to give you different senses of things, and I wanted to kind of catch some of the acorns and the different things that are in there, because again, the earth's going to have the minerals and stuff to grow all these plants you see around you, but also just the different stories that the layers of earth can tell. So as you can see here, this is kind of dug up. You see some roots exposed, all kinds of greatness, and you see traffic. For me, Elements Wind was always going to be about wind chimes. For me, I always remember my grandmother or my mother, they love wind chimes a lot. My grandmother's a little bit obsessed with them, and if she sees this, sorry grandma, it's true. But there's a lot of them around the property. Wind chime. Wind chime. You know, I could have got some of these for wind. Hummingbirds. Wind chime. So, the one that we have here on the porch, which I'm going to move around and show you, is the one that kind of caught my eye, because it kind of looks a little bit old, but it's actually kind of new. So I like the design of it, but the way it kind of sways in the breeze, and you immediately know what it is, and you get a sense of the wind. So this is the one that I ultimately chose to show you. I get a sense of peace and calm, which is what a lot of people do when you feel a nice breeze coming along. Good morning. It's Friday, or Fire Day. Yeah, feel free to groan, that was bad. It's Friday, so what we're doing today is fire is the elements challenge for today. So I'm out here in the backyard because we have this little chimney stove type thing that I'm going to use to take my photo. Alright, so this is it. I'm going to basically put some stuff in a fire in there, and we'll see what happens. So this is the after effect. I did get a couple of shots that I got to go through and edit and see which one I like the best. But when we think of fire, we think of flame, and it's a lot harder to get a flame than people realize. Typically you get coals. So you can see the aftermath of me basically putting a bunch of matches in here and trying to get some flames. You'll see some examples here of the ones that didn't quite make it but are kind of interesting. And then till finally you get the one that I chose, which is this one. So it is the final day of the Elements Challenge, which is day 19, I believe. And it's water today. And you just missed a very interesting conversation about the whole concept of this channel that Heather and I were having, because she helped me through the big giant. There's 2 trucks passing, dump trucks. There you go. So this actually fits in perfectly. We were talking about kind of the concept of the video, and sometimes I was telling her I have immediate ideas that you know, this is the picture and the intention that I want to get. And sometimes I come out and it works out, and sometimes I come out and I try 17 different things and I'm discovering it doesn't work, or I had more ideas. Some of those you've seen, like, so some of the video you've seen, things like, you know, me showing you multiple shots on close-up day because I had a bunch of different ideas as it was happening, and ultimately I choose the one that I went with originally sometimes, and sometimes I just find a better one. And today it was all about spraying a hose because I wanted the action of water rather than just take a picture of a cup of water or something like that, or a bottle of water. So I came out and we did a couple of those shots, and Heather helped me with them, and she had a couple of ideas, and she was the first one I got a pretty good shot. But admittedly, there were some ones that she forced me to do after that I think came out a little bit better. So I'm kind of debating as to which one I'm going to choose. The one ultimately that you're going to see when I cut this video through was this one. But there were some other ones that, you know, didn't quite make it. She also took one of when I was spraying through things. It hit me and my glasses got kind of all spotted with water, so she took a really interesting shot. Close-up of me and my glasses that I'll put in here as well for you to see. But what I want to do on this channel is I want you guys to have, you know, access to all of the mistakes. I can't tell you about serendipity, and I can't tell you about embracing those mistakes and the beauty they create unless I'm willing to show you that myself. So, like, again, some days I'm going to be able to come and record these things, some days I'm not, sometimes things happen, and the kind of videos I want to make is me being honest with the audience as to what it took me to go through with this. And that's part of the creative process for me. Our creative process might be differently. You might film a video, or you might take a picture and have a much easier time with it than I did. My idea for, you know, frozen motion was to throw a basketball, and that occupied most of my time because I didn't realize the complications of getting the shot right. I had some other ideas for that one, but that one took so much time that I'm like, oh, I'm earning this one. And it's the same thing with a lot of these things that we do, like the fire challenge. I had a very specific idea in mind, got it, and proved to be hard in terms of like getting the flames to be the way they want. Now, granted, Heather used the same thing later on, and she was very masterful getting flames up and running. She also used a prop of mine, which thankfully both her and the prop are okay. So yeah, I came out here and we shot some things for water, and you're going to see that all throughout this time that I'm talking. But again, the concept of this is that we all create, we show the creative process, because I think that I'm inspired by videos that I see of people being open and being honest and being themselves. People showing me their creative process, and again, the mistakes that happen. So that's kind of the same thing I want to give to you guys when I'm here recording videos of my own. So what you're going to see right here is the area where we actually did the shot. We took that hose and sprayed it in front of some of these flowers, and those are fake, by the way. However, that fooled a hummingbird, which I find to be amazing. And I'm just going to kind of show you the area where we were filming some of what we did. Yeah, that's one type of shot that we got. And then what we did was we came over this way, and I sprayed the water out in this direction with the hose kind of up by the camera, and it arced over. And again, maybe that'll be the shot that I chose, but the idea was to kind of get the water rushing, so you'll kind of see that. And yes, the traffic has gotten busier, social distancing. And then I actually tried too to get a rainbow, because I noticed some rainbows were popping up. The rainbow, however, was far too light for us to actually pick it up on camera. And of course, all the wind backsplashed the water at me, and that's where you get the images of me and my glasses being wet.
Yes.
Now I'm filming you. So what are we doing, girls?
We're just playing and taking upside down photos.
Upside down photos, that's right. Because that's the theme of today for the Lakeside Photo Challenge. It's upside down. So we have little gymnasts here, one of which is yelling at the other to move. And we did a couple of things on here. She's a dancer? Oh, my mistake.
Your mistake.
My mistake indeed. So yeah, we did a couple of shots on here, and we did a couple of shots over here on the trampoline of different images, and we haven't decided which one we're going to go with. But we're having a lot of fun, and here we go. This one's doing things, and they're doing stuff now, and there's an audience with a puppy.
Let's stop this.
So in putting together the footage for this week, I suddenly realized that I did not record any sort of piece for bubbles, and there's a reason for that. Basically, when I thought of the idea for bubbles, the original idea was I was going to have my nephews over that day. We're going to wash my car and, dual benefit. We wash my car, plus I get a good shot. And it was going to be like the soap bubbles, because I immediately thought of soap bubbles when I thought of bubbles, or bubble gum or things like that. But I was making breakfast for Heather and I, and put the eggs in the pan, put the butter in, put the butter in the pan first, because you're always going to do that. Then I put the eggs in, and they started to bubble. And I was like, oh, this is a really cool shot. So, ultimately, the contrast of the foam, the bubbles from the butter, the bubbles from the actual eggs, and the yolk being bubbles themselves, I kind of like the idea of having multi-layered bubbles. And here we are. Alright, so that's going to do it for week 3 of the Lakeside Photo Challenge. This was another fun one, guys. I'm really enjoying people's connecting with this challenge. So please tell your friends about it, have them participate. Thank you all so much for continuing to watch these videos. If it's your first time to the channel, please remember to hit that subscribe button. Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week for week 4.